Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Chandler with the Proactive Alliance team with Real Broker. And today I have with me,
Gina.
who's also with the Proactive Alliance team. Today we're just going to talk about a few tips and tricks that buyers and sellers can benefit in today's hot real estate market.
Great.
Anything you want to say first?
I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation, so stay tuned.
Sounds good. All right, so first I wanted to start off with some true or false questions.
Sure.
How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So, true or false? Staging a home can make a big difference in increasing the selling price of your house.
That's a big true. That's a big true.
Okay, how so?
Make sure that if you have plans selling this year, find ways and means to stage, especially taking off your, family photos to make the place look a bit neutral, which will help buyers, to imagine themselves there.
That's
Okay.
some good advice. Yeah, a lot of people don't think about the family photos.
No.
Of course, it's important to have the curb appeal. So when they first drive up to the house, they see how beautiful the house is, because first impressions make all the difference.
Sure, first impression makes all the difference.
All right, awesome.
So true or false? It's always better to list your home at a higher price to give room for negotiation.
So is it always better to list your house at a higher price? That makes sense, so that you have room for negotiation.
No, Chris.
But of course,
that's a big no. That's
course.
a big no.
Right. So we're not selling cars here. We're not selling iPhones here. We're selling houses.
Yeah. And I learned this from one of our leaders that pricing, a very good pricing is a good invitation. It's like you inviting someone to your house. So having the right price will even set the tone. So always make sure that you price your house just at the sweet spot to make sure that it attracts all the potential buyers.
Exactly. And if we're pricing the house too high, then that's going to help out other houses out there, because everyone's going to, if you're trying to buy a house for around $500,000 and you see houses for $450,000, which one are the buyers going to go to first?
Everyone is sensitive. I'll go for the cheaper one or the
Exactly.
lower price,
And then they won't even be looking at your house at all.
That's
so
true.
That's how that works. How do we find that true market value price anyways, to make sure we're pricing it correctly?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. With the average agent, they'll just, compare houses to, neighboring houses. But we here in Proactive Alliance, we have 3 approaches that we use to make sure that your price is at that sweet spot. We use the realtor approach, the appraiser approach, and even an approach used by insurance companies. So just give us a call and we'll guide you through to get the right price that can help your house be sold within the first 30 days.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Gina. All right. Now I'm going to ask you a true or false.
Okay.
So, true or false?
Okay.
Selling in the spring is the only way to get the best price for your house.
No. When it comes to selling of a house, we don't have the best season or the best time. Any time is good. And now that we are in the winter, our advice is to sell during this time, because it's even during this time that you get to know the serious buyers. When the weather is good, everyone wants to step out and they use, they use open houses as their, leisure time or something to just while away time. So if someone should walk through the cold, walk through the snow to your house, you should know the person is really serious. Yeah.
That's a good point. All right. Thank you.
So, Chris, true or false? A home inspection is only for buyers, not for sellers.
That would be false.
False. Why false?
Yep. Yeah, of course. So obviously, most buyers are going to get a home inspection. Definitely get a home inspection if you're looking to buy a house. But it might be a good idea for a seller to get a home inspection as well. Because actually, funny story, a couple months ago, we had a seller who was selling their house, and they had a buyer come in with a home inspection. But the home inspector actually was friends with the buyer, and they had a bunch of things wrong, and they were trying to do all these negotiations. But since we already had a pre-inspection ourselves as the seller's agents, we were able to combat everything that the buyer's inspection said, which they were actually making stuff up. And you'd never know something like that unless you do your own inspection as well.
Okay.
So it's not always necessary. It depends on the house. It depends on the age, the condition, and everything like that. But sometimes it might be a good idea for a seller to get an inspection as well. Would you agree?
I really agree with you.
Exactly. So Gina, true or false? You need to completely renovate your home before you list it on the market for sale?
Oh, there's a very, very interesting one. It's a big no, a big force, you know. We do, you know, here we do a lot of cold calling. We call people and all they keep saying, oh, I want to renovate my house before I put it on the market. Yeah, you need to renovate certain areas. Let me put it that way. You need to, if possible, renovate certain areas, but you don't really need to do a whole 360 because it's like you're not giving room for the buyer to, you know, put in their creativity or something. So it's a big no. Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, you don't need to renovate your whole house before putting it on the market, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so Chris, what do you think about this? If a seller wants to put their house on the market, but they have tenants in it, should they evacuate everyone before they put it on the market, or they can still sell while their tenants are in there?
That's a very good question. Yeah, especially here in New York, a lot of people are having tenants. Multifamily properties have tenants. Okay, well, I'd say it depends.
Okay.
It depends what your goals are, how quickly you want to get the house sold. It depends on if the tenants are paying market rates or if it's way below market rates. So some options, you can sell the house with the tenants. It can be very attractive if they're paying market rent. That way, if you get an investor coming and they don't want to live in the property, then they can just buy the house right there and you can actually use that as negotiation. You're saving them work from having to go out and find tenants. You have loyal tenants already. But if they're paying way below market rent, or maybe they're just bad tenants and they're really messy or causing problems, sometimes you can either decide if you want to pay to get them out. You might have to pay a premium and you can just put that into the cost of your sale expenses. Or you can see if you want to go that route to try to convince a buyer to buy out the tenants. And then of course there's always the eviction process if the tenants are doing something wrong. But here in New York, especially in Queens, the law usually favors the tenants.
The tenant, yeah.
Right. So most of the time we have to work with them and end up buying them out or finding them somewhere else to live that they might be perceived to be a little bit better.
Okay. That sounds.
Did you want to add anything to that?
You know, we've sold a couple of properties, especially latter part of last year, that had tenants in them, and I think I'll just support what you said. It all depends the type of tenants that you have, but that shouldn't really stop you. That's the main reason why you need an advisor, like a very trusted realtor, to help you with the process. Maybe they can even see the numbers and see if it really makes sense selling with tenants in or selling after evacuating them.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Chris, should you always accept the highest offer on your home?
Oh,
as a seller.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And that sounds like it would be an obvious yes. You should always accept the highest offer, but not necessarily.
No, really.
Say you have a house that is really popular and you have about 10 offers, and one offer might be, say we're going to use, for simplicity's sake, we'll use about 500,000 is what you're trying to go for. And you have some offers for 520, right? Sometimes it might make sense actually to accept an offer that's a little bit lower at 510 if their finances look more secure or if they have better negotiation terms. For example, here at the Proactive Alliance team, we always make sure that every buyer that we consider going through a transaction with, we make sure that they obtain what's called an LPDU.
Oh, okay. What is that?
Right? So an LPDU is a step above a pre-approval.
Okay.
It verifies their assets, their credit, and their income. So that makes sure that they're super qualified to buy the house. So if a buyer comes in at 520 and all they have is a pre-approval, it might be a good idea to accept the person with an LPDU at 510. Even though it's a little bit lower, it might save you money and headache and stress in the long run because you know that the deal is going to go through. And it also depends on how much time you have and what your goals are for when you want to be moved and everything like that. That makes sense?
Good. You said it perfectly.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we'll do one more true or false before we wrap this up.
Okay.
Okay. So true or false? Working with a professional realtor gives you the best chance of getting the highest sale price for your home.
I'll say a big true.
Why is that, Gina?
Okay. So working with a professional real estate agent means that you are working with someone who has done transactions similar to yours over and over and over again. So they're able to anticipate problems and any challenges. So secondly, too, they are able to do the best form of marketing. I see for sale by owners trying to market their homes, and that's not your field, you know. Stay in your lane and be your project management and all that, and leave your house to us. We have the tools, we have the systems, you know, to help you even get the best offer and also lead you to the table with less stress and aggravation. You want to add anything else to it?
Sure, I think you put that very well. Differently than I would put it, but it's very real. And at the end of the day, we're just trying to make sure that you don't leave any money on the table.
Good.
And this is your house that you've lived in for however many years, and I'm sure you have attachments to it. So we just want to make sure that all of your hard work and care that you've put into the house, you're going to get as much of that back as possible.
Great.
And quick tip, statistically, you'll actually be earning about 5 to 6% more from the sale of your house when you use a realtor versus sell by yourself.
Wow.
And that's not just 5 to 6% higher sale price. This includes everything that's involved in the transaction. Negotiations, attorneys, inspections, what else?
Yeah. You know what? With us, you can go on vacation and we'll be doing the job for you.
Exactly.
Simply put, just pack yourself, go on your vacation whilst we just, you know, sell for you. Or
Exactly. Go on vacation and sell your house for
yeah.
more money. Well, all right, Gina.
Okay, so it was nice spending some time with you. We'll be doing more of this.
Exactly. Send us any questions that you might have, and we'll be happy to answer them as soon as we can, either in the comments below or in our next video.
Okay, so it was a pleasure spending some time with you. Peace out.
Yep, this has been Chris and Gina. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
That's nice. I like it.